Well, Brian, can you take us through the new integrity rules regarding stomach tubing, particularly the 24-hour break between races?
Yeah, there's two new rules, Adrian, we've introduced. One is with regard to stomach tubing, the procedure itself, which we've taken out from 24 hours to one clear day, where one clear day means that you don't count the day that you do the procedure and you don't count the race day. So for a Saturday, Thursday midnight would be the last time you'd be able to stomach tube a horse. Friday would be the clear day. So it provides that extra gap. It used to be 24 hours. That became a little bit problematic in some circumstances, and we want to remove the possibility of administering alkalinizing agents for that period. The second part of the rule is that we've taken alkalinizing agents from not on race day to not within one clear day of racing.
What's the overall objective?
The TCO2, the milkshaking practice, has been with us for probably 25 years, and we're still having irritating levels of TCO2 appear. We're still having positive cases, and occasionally it can be difficult to prosecute those cases. So by taking it out to one clear day, it just absolutely removes any risk of any accidental or strange physiological processing of the alkalinizing agent that could cause a positive result. So it's a real strong safety margin.
What's the odds of a horse being fed a regular diet without substantive amounts of bicarb getting anywhere near the threshold level?
To get above the threshold level, they've done some pretty sophisticated statistics based on, 20 years of experience, and the probability of a horse returning a level over the threshold on a normal diet, just a normal race day diet, is something like 2 million to 1. So when you get those levels up around the threshold, we're pretty convinced that there's been administrations of alkalinizing agents there.
So there's just more than anecdotal evidence and people are trying to manipulate the thresholds?
We study our TCO2 results that we do from our pre-race samples pretty carefully and do the statistics on them, and it's a small number, but there's a significant number that are way beyond normal physiological explanation. So yes, there is that pushing the threshold, and every now and then the calculations are off and we get a detection.
Trainers say they should be allowed to stomach tube with bicarb within the 24 hours under vet supervision. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, that was the original approach that we took, and we thought that was probably reasonable. But there's been alkalinizing agents that have emerged over the years that have very prolonged effects. Some of the succinates and citrates will have effects going into 12 or even more hours, and we've found that people, and it's natural in a sort of a competitive environment that people try to get that little bit of competitive advantage and push the threshold. So that's been one of our problems. We want to have a level playing field for everybody, want everything to be clear, black and white, eliminate the grey, and that's what we think this will do.
Some trainers say that the major impact for stomach tubing or milkshaking horses is on the day of a race. Why then can't they stomach tube the day before?
Yeah, no question. Close to the race is the most effective. But what we've been seeing is that levels from the day before are raised as high as they can by stomach tubing, and then there's a little trickle add effect over the period. And by doing that, the body tries to blow off the excess TCO2, but if you give a big dose and then give little trickle doses on following up, you can still end up with very high levels. So we regard that as a significant problem, especially in terms of prosecuting cases.
And there's also been a crackdown, if you like, on race day treatments, hoof oils and electrolytes.
That's a bit of it's got a life of its own a little bit. There's absolutely no change to the rules for treatment on race day. There's been no change, no toughening, nothing. What we have done with the notice we've sent out is just clarify what has been existing practice for many, many years to provide, again, some certainty, take the greyness out and try and make it easy for people to know when they're complying with the rules or when they're not. But there is no change.
If a horse knocks its leg on the eve of the race, can it be treated with ice?
Yes, yeah, of course it can. Of course it can. The only time we worry about ice is we don't want horses coming on the racecourse and being iced up before they go out onto the track, because that might mask something. And if their legs are so hot that they need that, we think it's probably better that they shouldn't be racing. Race morning, night before, no problem.
What about the chiropractic and acupuncture and race day?
Yeah, we consider that to be a treatment. Chiropractic and acupuncture treatment can have pretty significant analgesic and pain relieving effects, and we consider that to be a treatment under the rules. Day before, okay, but not on race day.
Are you not sort of going to extremes in these levels?
No, I don't think so. We're not actually changing what we're doing. There will be comment that it's tough with the alkalinizing agents and the stomach tubing, and there will be undoubtedly some inconveniences, but we feel those inconveniences are worth the trade-off in maintaining integrity and a level playing field. So tough, yes, but we've thought it through pretty carefully, and we think it's pretty right. We always try, and we understand that balance between being able to treat horses properly and look after them, look after their welfare, and control the abuse of therapeutics, if you like, use of them to try and get an advantage or to push a horse through that perhaps shouldn't be on the race course. But it is a balance. We understand that, and we think we've got it pretty right in this case.